This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I know there are a lot of boys and girls out there who had a good time making sure that Santa knew what they wanted by using amateur radio and the Santa Net.
All right, well, we'll see if we can't reach the North Pole for Hopper. North Pole, calling Santa, calling North Pole, calling Santa, Twin Santa, over. Okay, let me look at my magic snow globe in South Carolina. Hopper, I see Hopper. Can you hear Santa?
Yes, sir.
Oh boy, so polite too. Oh boy. Well, Hopper, what would you like Santa to bring you for Christmas?
I want a VR headset, a drone, and like a puzzle box where there's like hidden buttons and knobs, and you have to find like a combination to open it.
Oh boy, those are a lot of fun. Okay, I wrote all that down on my list. A virtual reality headset and all that. Wow, you like electronics. Boy, oh boy, it's some good stuff. You'll have a lot of fun with that. All right, you gonna leave me out some milk and cookies and a carrot or two for the reindeer tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, terrific. And you were on the good list. Wow. Okay, I'll tell you what, on the count of three, give me a big ho, 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 Merry Christmas. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Merry Christmas!
That was terrific. The reindeer jumping up and down, the elves are dancing. Oh boy, that was great. Back to my relay in Alabama.
What a great way to celebrate Christmas and introduce young people to the magical world of ham radio. The 3916 group did a fantastic job with CQ Santa again this year. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. The very first multi-mode digital voice net, called the Holdiay Net, on December 21st was a great success.
Good evening and welcome to the Kentucky Digital Voice Net. This is Larry NN4H located in Russell County, and I'll be your primary net control for tonight. This is a special holiday edition net here on XLX 721. The purpose of this net is to test interoperability of the digital modes and to have some fun. Checking into this net, please remember to give your call sign slowly and phonetically, give your name, location, if you have any traffic bulletins or announcements. We will now pause to see if there is any emergency or priority traffic. If so, please come now. Okay, at this time, we'll start taking check-ins, and first I'd like to acknowledge any mobile or short-time stations. Mobile or short-time, call NN4H.
With NN4H at the helm as net control, the multi-mode Holdiay Net hit the ground running, taking check-ins on XLX 721, the multi-mode reflector, where users were coming in over D-Star, DMR, C4FM, and Echolink. Proved the concept and that the reflector could do a great job with the volume of activity on various modes. The audio was great, and it was difficult to determine just by listening if a participant was checking in using D-Star, DMR, or C4FM. With a total of 79 check-ins from 16 states, 3 DX entities including Australia, Canada, and Switzerland, and 23 of the Kentucky counties, 43 of the check-ins were using D-Star, 21 using DMR, and 6 using C4FM, and 9 using Echolink. This really shows that in an emergency with users using different digital voice modes, the XLX 721 reflector system would be of great use, allowing communications by operators using different digital voice modes to communicate effectively. And remember, this system is available for normal day-to-day amateur radio use all the time. For more information, check out the reflector dashboard at xlx721.dyn.dns.org. The International Space Station's amateur radio station will be transmitting slow-scan TV images on 437.800 MHz through Saturday, December 30th on the crossband repeater. It is important for amateur radio operators not to transmit on the uplink frequency during the slow-scan TV transmissions, since it will disrupt the image transfer. You don't have to be an amateur radio license to receive these images. Just a receiver listening to 437.800 MHz and an app for your phone or computer which decodes the PD 120 transmissions. Pretty neat stuff. Give it a try. The Ohio DMR Net will not be held on January 1st because of the New Year's holiday. Don't forget the annual ARRL Straight Key Night on January 1st, 2024 from 0000 UTC to 2359 UTC. Dust off that straight key and work some CW. Submit your stories, photos, and a list of stations contacted to straightkey@ARRL.org for consideration of their best fit and most interesting QSO recognition. Queen City Emergency Net will meet on Thursday, January 11th at 7:30 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. There'll be the election of the 2024 officers and a program on DMR radio and hotspots. The Brunch Bunch will be meeting on January 13th at 1 p.m. at the West Shine Family Restaurant, 3245 Westbourne Drive in Green Township, Ohio. Come on in and enjoy the fun. On January 13th at 11 a.m., the Emergency Disaster and Communications Corps, along with the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society, will have a severe winter weather exercise at the Bars Club Ham Shack at the American Red Cross Building, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. They encourage all attendees to bring their favorite HT amateur radio to learn how to program the radio using the faceplate of the radio so that if they're called upon to provide communications for an emergency event, they'll be comfortable with their own equipment. They'll also review what groups will need our communication skills, discuss the importance of being able to provide accurate boots-on-the-ground field weather reports to the Fayette County EOC, National Weather Service, and Kentucky Emergency Management. They'll also discuss the importance of being ready for a potential loss of power during a winter storm and the emergency communications plan. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club has also changed the date and location of their meetings, with the new officers group committed to making positive changes for the members of the organization. The meetings will be held on the third Monday of the month, this month being January 15th at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. For more information, go to k4co.org. January 20th is the Ohio Aries VHF contest, which is open to all operators starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time and ending at 4 p.m. Communications will take place on 2 meters, 6 meters, 70 centimeters, FM, as well as simplex and digital voice contacts. For the rules or to register, go to ohsimplex.org. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will once again offer online classes to pass the FCC General Class License Exam. The classes will be held over Zoom on 6 Sunday afternoons from 1:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The first class will start on January 14th. The classes are free and available to all interested hams with technician class licenses or studying to complete their technician class license by the end of the class. Class materials will be distributed via Google Classroom, and the suggested book is the General License Course Study Guide 2023 to 2027 edition, available at hamradioschool.com. For more information, go to tiny.cc/BEAHAMG.
Do you know where the action's at?
The action is in the parks. Yes, Parks on the Air has made a big splash in amateur radio, building one of the most vibrant on-the-air communities in contemporary amateur radio. While park activators set up in one of the thousands of national and state parks recognized around the world, almost 11,000 of them located in the United States, with their portable or mobile equipment, the hunters answer the call of the activators from their home or other amateur radio stations. The activators submit the logs for all the QSOs of the hunters they worked, and the hunters, once creating a POTA account, can see all their Parks on the Air contacts. Awards are given for a wide variety of milestones, both as an activator and as a hunter. Activators post their frequency, mode, and park information on the POTA.app website, giving hunters an opportunity to know what park the activators are at and what mode and frequency they are working. Hunters can also spot the activators with the same information, allowing the others to have the pleasure of working the park stations. The activators can be heard any time of the day or day of the week on all bands in all modes, including sideband, CW, and FT8 and other digital modes. Tuning the dial on your HF rig will reveal many stations calling CQ POTA. Having been both an activator and a hunter, I can tell you this is a very enjoyable and rewarding amateur radio activity. Parks on the Air has become such a popular amateur radio event that the ARRL has published a book titled The Parks on the Air Book, where 14 experienced Park on the Air operators operators share their radio and antenna setups, operating tips, and other information on how they enjoy the Parks on the Air program. While certainly a fun event, this prepares the operator for some practical experience in setting up and operating in outdoor emergency conditions, which would certainly be beneficial in a natural disaster or catastrophic event. For more information on Parks on the Air, go to parksontheair.com and POTA.app. The action is certainly in the park.
Hamfests.
On January 14, 2024 is the Sunday Creek Amateur Radio Federation Hamfest at the Shade Community Center, 2380 Old US 33 in Shade, Ohio. For more information, contact KC8QDQ.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On January 6th at 10 a.m., the Greater Mason County Amateur Radio Association will be sponsoring an amateur radio license exam session at the Emergency Operations Center, 668 Kenton Station Road in Maysville, Kentucky. Registration is required by contacting Greg Taylor at 606-584-0014 or email him at drtaylor@maysvilleky.net. On January 13, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On January 13, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Drive in Winchester, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/AC4YD. For more information, contact Darrell Epperson, AC4YD, at 859-771-1834. On January 23, 2024 at 6 p.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance lower level at 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW at 502-545-0376. On January 27, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session sponsored by the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club at the American Legion Post number 46 at 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Carol Miller, AF6MB at 541-602-6535. The Western Kentucky DX Association will sponsor an amateur radio license testing session on February 4th, 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Woodman Life Building, 519 Old Morgantown Road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. For more information, email Henry, W4HTB at W4HTB@IEEE.org or call him at 270-793-4822. On February 10, 2024 at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be giving an amateur radio license exams at the Red Cross Building, Classroom A, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI, at 859-536-3393. On February 10, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On March 9, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. For more information, contact Ron Malinowski, WX4GPS at 502-542-8252. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana area, this is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.